In the previous video, we had already discussed regarding the folds. What are the classification of folds? So many we had considered the classification, in which we considered types of folds and its basic concept, and along with the detailed form. In this video, we will study the folds, how folds are different from folds, and how classification of the folds, and how do folds actually occur naturally. Structurally, the faults may be described along the displacement of the blocks has taken place. There are, as you can see in the sketch or in the figure shown in the slide, when there are the chances while during the construction of any tunnel or something natural calamity, there causes the displacement of the blocks, which in future, or which in a process converts into the formation of the faults. As you can see over here, that the hanging wall block and core body, there is the displacement between the footwall block and hanging wall block. This is termed as the fault. What is the foot wall and the hanging wall? You can see over here the foot in this sketch, you can see that there is a fault plane is formed due to the displacement of the foot wall. There has caused the displacement of the foot wall, and there has formed a hanging wall. You can see in the figure given. Now let's classify in how many types the faults are classified. See, in case of an inclined fall, if the hanging wall goes down with reference to the foot wall, it is termed as a normal fault or gravity fault. You can see over here the foot wall block is upward while the hanging wall block is downward. If we are considering the footwall block as a reference, then the hanging wall block is slightly downward compared to the foot wall block. Hence, this type of fault, the fault plane that is formed, is termed as a normal fault. Suppose if the foot wall block, if we are considering at a foot wall block as a reference, and if hanging wall block is upward, the displacement is in upward form, which is actually the opposite, purely opposite compared to the normal fault. This term is known as the reverse fault or thrust fault. Right, you can see over here in the figure, you can see that the foot wall block is comparatively downward compared to the hanging wall front. So the plane that is formed in the circle I had already shown, that fault is known as a reverse fault. Now, the strike slip fault. In strike slip fault, the sideways displacement occurs. In the reverse and normal fault, we have seen that the fault plane is formed due to the upliftment. The displacement is in the form of upward and downward. But in strike slip fault, the displacement that occurs, it is in sideways. You can see over here. It is in the sideways. You can see that in the sketch given, in the figure given in the slide. So sideways displacement occurs, then it will be termed as a strike slip fault. Okay, oblique slip fault. In this, both it occurs in sideways as well as upward and downward displacement occur. You can see in the sketch it is shown. See, it is also upward, downward, and also the sideways the displacement is occurring. So this foot wall, it will be terms in sideways, the block will move in the sideways and also in upward and downward. So that will be termed as an oblique slip fault. Now, the classification and types of the faults. Horst and Graben fault. When normal fault with mutually diverging or converging fault plane occurs, then a few wedge-shaped blocks called Horst are displaced upward, and a few other are called Grabens as are displaced downwards. You can see in the sketch over here that normal faults are actually mutually diverging. When diverging or converging, the fault plane will occur upward and downward form, and wedge-shaped blocks will be formed. The wedge-shaped blocks will be termed as Horst and displaced upwards, and the other rather than this other than the Horst, that are termed as Grabens. Now, how faults actually occurs? Faults may occur due to various causes. Among them, the tectonic causes are responsible not only for the faults but also faults of a greater magnitude. Uh, it may be recollected that the faults develop mainly due to shear and sliding failures resulting from tectonic forces. It is natural that compression and tensional forces be mutually interlinked, because if in one part of the crust there is compression, in other adjacent part there will be tension. Obviously, if there is a compression in one part, obviously it will be tension in the other part. So due to tectonic causes, the greater magnitude faults are formed. In addition to these main causes, sometimes the formation of magnetic intrusion such as biomallits may also contribute to faulting, though on a very small scale. Occasionally, local settlement under the influence of gravity may also cause minor faulting. So, apart from the major faults, there are due to the magmatic intrusion, the magmas are formed and intrusion of the magma also causes faulting. Those faulting will be of very minor or will be on very small scale. So also the local settlement occurs. As you know, the gravitational force also plays an important role in faulting. So the minor faulting occurs due to the local settlement due to gravitational force. So due to tectonic causes, the major faults occurs, and due to magmatic intrusion or gravitational force, a minor faulting occurs. So that's it about the faulting.